here we have it, the 390 cordless. No power needed at all, which is such a beneficial thing sometimes when you are in areas where you cannot get power. Power source is always very important, but hey, there is times where you have no choice and it's not available. So here we have the new 390 cordless. This comes with two 18/54 volt FlexVolt XR. So we've got two of these. Next we have the 15 meter lead hose, whatever you would like to call it. Next up we're going to get the bad boy out. I have tried and tested this already. So this here, very similar to the 390 corded. The only difference is obviously that it's got no hard wired power. In the box also comes manuals, everything you need to know about what you want to do with the machine, how to operate, how to clean it, troubleshooting, everything's in there. But in saying that, you got troubleshooting, you can always get in touch with the legends Go Industrial, or you can hit us up on your social, whatever you like to do. Also comes with the contractor PC. Awesome, lightweight, very economical to use. So awesome match for these two here. And of course we have the charger. So also this is 1 hour charge, peeps. So I was getting 1 hour of spray, a bit over actually. I was probably getting an hour and 20 minutes of spray, and I was getting between 10 to 12 liters on each battery also. And while I was using one, the other one was on charge. Time this one ran out, I could put the new one straight in, and you could just interchange them and you could operate all day. But hey, like I said, if you haven't got the power to charge, you can buy these separately. And if you want to buy a bunch of them, you know 3, 4, 5, whatever, you're getting an hour each one to spray. So if you've got a job that's going for 5 hours or something like that, as you think, if you've got 5 of these ready to rock, you're going to get the job done. And at the end of the day, you're going to save money, you're going to save time, not trying to fight or worry about the power situation also. So that's what we have. What we're going to do, we've got a garage door here, we're going to spray out quickly. I'm going to set this thing up, give you a bit of a rundown on how we set it up, how we load it up, how we spray out of it, and then all the way through to dismantling it, wash up, packing it away, back in the box. Hope you all enjoy. Let's do it. Always make sure that you don't want to go over tighten it, but you just want to make sure it's got a bit of tension on there. Same thing, always just walk out your line, very important. This bit connects to your gun. Here we have it. This is the first time this one's actually been used. I used the other one last time because I didn't. This already does come with quick releases up. I pull this down. Then you can. Well, you didn't even need to do that. Sorry, but usually does come. Well, it will come with your 60 mesh filter, also interchangeable with the 100 mesh, whatever material or product you are spraying, of course. So what I always do, I never sit it in the way like that. This is what this little bit here is for. So as you can see inside here, this goes in there, and then all you can do, just hold it upside down like that. Especially when it's new, it's pretty lubed up as well. You do have the oils in the machine, in the handpiece. and connect it back up. There's your safety as well, which is always good because the trigger on these are pretty light, so you want to make sure you got that as well. So next thing, connect this one to your gun. Same thing here, you're going to need 2 shifters, spinners, whatever you've got, and they just do operate the other way. Same thing, it's opposite way, so yeah, not too much force but enough to make sure it's completely on. That way you've got your handpiece now connected from your handpiece to your machine, your sprayer. First thing, remove, push down, take out. This is pretty much just a safety, well, not a safety, more a storage cap, just to keep it protected, that's all. So here we have it as well. You do have your earth. So this, obviously here, I didn't really know what it was when I first started painting, but yeah, over time I've learnt this is actually the earth. So when you are running any solvent-based products or any flammable liquids, always make sure this is earthed off to something. So yeah, we will just actually put it back on here for now, keep it out of the way. This is the area here where you do slide in your 54 volt batteries. So this just slides straight in there like this, clicks in. You do have the option, well, with the batteries it does have your push button where you can see how much battery charge you do have also. So that there is pretty much all set up, ready to go to spray. Yeah, you don't realize how easy it is. I know it's only 1 cord, but for us it just makes it so much easier sometimes instead of dragging around multiple leads. A lot of the time you're pulling your power out of the sockets while you're going. You know, there can be a lot of benefits to having a battery powered, even if, you know, you have got a hardwired power supply. So anyways, here we go here. I always like to as well, we'll get these out, got a couple of spare little, it's always good to have a good range of your tips and everything as well. But what I always like to do before I go putting any paint in or anything like that, I always just fill up a bucket, half a bucket of clean water. In saying that, you do want to make sure it's clean as well, because if you've got anything in like this, you can't use it. Now let's go get another bucket. Yeah, you don't want to be sucking up any dried up paint or materials, dirt, dust, whatever, through your machine. Just going to end up causing clog, blockages, clogging up your gun and, you know, your filters and everything like that. That's it, you don't need too much in there. Always set that there. Just going to put anything that I'm not using out of the way quickly. Alright, so here we have it. I'm going to open up a fresh drum of Dulux Weather Shield Low Sheen made up to Colorbond Woodland. Great. Alright, so what we can do now as well, but just one thing before we start, I always like to give it a bit of a dunk. That way, you know, you just getting it all lubricated, so then when you're putting it in your paint and back into water, it's going to be a lot easier to clean up. So as well, you can, you do have a bit of oils and everything, obviously from shipping, storage, whatever else. So I'm just going to quickly blow any of these out. I'm just running a bit of water through into the machine and out through the prime hose. This is your prime hose, so this will prime your machine to then obviously start pumping through your hose and out your handpiece. Anyway, so this is down now. I'll have the switch here, which, let's turn it on. It illuminates as well, so that's pretty cool, I think. Nice little touch. But here we have it now. This is prime. On the down is prime, your side is spray. So always have it down on your prime position whenever you're changing pretty much your tips. Always have your pressure down. Your tips, always have your pressure down, because it won't prime, it won't build up pressure to your handpiece. All right, so now I've got it switched down to prime. It's turned on. I'm just going to quickly, as you can see, sucking up any does take a little bit of a while to start going through. There you go. There you go, just turn it down now. It's pretty much all right to go. We've got the clean water running through now. So you've pretty much taken out any of the oils or anything that's sitting in the machine when it's purchased. So now what I can do, I can quite easily just drain the water out of it and go straight into the paint. I always just have the prime. I'll never really sit the prime inside the paint. I'll either have it sitting on top, or I'll just have it sitting in another drum like this, because you're always going to prime through some water that's in your machine before it will actually start coming out with paint. So make sure everything is all done up. Make sure your pressure is obviously down. And now what we can do, you always want to change, you always want your pressure down when you're flipping between prime and spray as well. So pressure's down. Now what we can do, we can go through while it's still on prime, we'll turn it up, we'll wait for the paint to come through here. As soon as you see the paint coming out, leave it at 1 to 2 seconds. Just make sure you get all the air bubbles, everything out, and then pretty much you're ready to go. So I always just leave that sitting in paint. Always give it a bit of a squirt around, because if you don't, be careful as well, this will fill up, and especially it will dry up if it's a hot summer's day. So that's why I do keep it just in the in a pot of, or drum of water. When you're putting on your tip guard as well, push the trigger guard down. Like I said, before you put your tip in as well, just make sure your pressure's down as well. Just makes it a lot easier, that, of course, well, for sure. Alright, so here we go. Before you go putting your tip in as well, always make sure that you get, run your paint through the machine, through your lead, and then that's weird, eh? Yeah, just make sure that after you prime your paint, you'll always want to run your paint through without a tip on first. That way you're saving time, because you'll be there forever running your paint through with your tip on, and you're going to be going through your tips a lot quicker, because at the end of the day you'll be putting litres and litres through when there's really no need. So yeah, you'll be saving on tips as also. So always have, like I said, it down. So I always leave, when I am changing from my prime to my spray, I always put my trigger down first like this, and then turn up my pressure. Otherwise you have your pressure all the way turned up, put on your trigger, and you're going to blow paint everywhere. So always hold down your trigger first, shoot out until the paint comes out. As you can see, it's all paint now, no water. Turn it back down. I always put it straight back to prime. That way now you're pretty much ready to go loading in your tip. Depending on what tip for the surface and the product is what you're going to want to choose as well, depending on the conditions. Also, it plays a big part. If you got a lot of wind, hot, humid, whatever it is, always plays a part in what tip size you're going to use. Go Industrial has done a master article pretty much going through the whole range of tip sizes with the products and the surfaces and everything like that you need. So head on over and check it out. But anyways, here we are. We're going to go through and put this one. I'm just going to run the 410. I was going to thinking about 308, but it's getting late in the afternoon. I need to get this on, so a bit wider the fan. You know, the 10 size is pretty awesome for any type of metal work or anything like that as well. All right, so now pressure's turned down. We're going to put in our tip. We're running the FFLP 410, like I said on this one. So just squeeze it in. You can hear it pretty much lock into place. Ready? Hear that? And now it's on its side. If you're not using your gun as well for half an hour, whatever time, you can always sit it to the side. That way you're not going to have your orifice exposed, which will potentially dry out and block up. So if you're not using it, sit it to the side, sit in a pot of water like this. A lot of the time I have it sitting like this. I'll have it filled up to just to where the tip guard is. So that way you've just gotten this end. You know, if you're keeping all air out of from this side and to this side, there's no reason why the paint will dry out inside your machine or your gun. So there we go. All right, we are pretty much ready to go. We've primed up, we've assembled everything we need to. Tip in now, machining the paint. So yeah, here we go. We'll prime it quickly again for 2 seconds. There we go. Turn it to pressure down. Remember, pressure's always down, peeps. Flick it to spray. You don't want to go holding this on now while you turn it up. It was only for while you were shooting out your water. So now turn up the pressure. Usually running your FFLP tips, your green, with your green here, as you can see. So these are usually your low pressure, delivers longer battery life also, but your low pressure with your FFLP tips is your green. And then soon as you start to go into the blue, you can run, you know, your LP tips or your Rack X, whatever you prefer. But yeah, always try to keep it in there. Quickly, we'll just check out our line, make sure we've got no tails or train tracks. And if we do, we simply just have to turn up that pressure until we eliminate any lines or anything like that. So as you can see there, that is absolutely beautiful. Check it. Yeah, that's really nice. So there we go, pressure's ready to go. This is, like I said, the Dulux weather shield. We have got it set perfectly, a nice bar there, even between them two there, I think. Yeah, we're gonna get a nice, beautiful finish on this. Start off on the corner. Like I said with this as well, you contract a PC. It is a 2-finger, or you can wind it down to, just undo at the end here, slides down to 4. Whatever you... And you can do 3 in the middle. Or 3, 1, if you prefer. You just use the 1. So here we go. I'll start off on this corner. We'll move it nice, smooth.
So what's your technique to doing the garage? You do perimeter, cut in first with the gun?
No. When I'm doing a garage door, I never do a perimeter. I'm sorry, but one thing that frustrates me so much, and I don't really get frustrated, but is seeing painters paint a garage door, or anything really in particular, where you've taped up, there is no reason why that you would do a perimeter. You do a perimeter on your ceilings because you're doing obviously your corners. You don't perimeter your wall and then fill it in. So there's no reason why you would perimeter. Start off on the corner. Like I said with this as well, you contract a PC. It is a 2-finger, or you can wind it down to, just undo at the end here, slides down to 4, whatever you... And you can do 3 in the middle. Or 3, 1, if you prefer. You just use the 1. So here we go. I'll start off on this corner. We'll move it nice, smooth.
So what's your technique to doing the garage? You do perimeter, cut in first with the gun?
No. When I'm doing a garage door, I never do a perimeter. I'm sorry, but one thing that frustrates me so much, and I don't really get frustrated, but is seeing painters paint a garage door, or anything really in particular, where you've taped up, there is no reason why that you would do a perimeter. You do a perimeter on your ceilings because you're doing obviously your corners. You don't perimeter your wall and then fill it in. So there's no reason why you would perimeter a garage door. It's exactly the same as a wall. So yeah, that's one thing that I just don't understand. You're creating more paint on the one surface. You are not getting a nice even flow from side to side. So yeah, that's one thing that I definitely don't like to do. Thanks for bringing that up. All right, we'll just start in this corner. I always hold my lead out because, you know, you have it like this, you can kick over it and whatever else. So I always try to have it pinned back as much as I can away, and just work with what I need. I'm sorry, just got to turn it up a little bit. It was just a little bit too low. Just run up from side to side. You don't have to go running. What you do as well, when you come down to the bottom, because you've got this, really hard to get any of these underneath edges. And two, when you come down to something, you will get a lot more air and compression coming out off the wall if you have it like this. So I always just like to turn it over, flip it, as I say, that way. Get that all the way down to the bottom and underneath to the surface. So there we have it. There's spraying a garage door with the Graco contractor running the Graco 390 cordless. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you like what you've seen. If you're interested in one of these machines, give the good guys at Go a holler, and they'll sort you out, obviously with a good price, always sales, always service. Yeah, and they'll look after you 100%. So that's a bit of a rundown. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to pretty much start disassembling it all, and we'll show you how we take it all apart, wash everything up, put it back in the box, and we out of here. Getting late in the afternoon, big day painting, but we love it. Like I said, before I even like to start, I always like to have half a drum of clean water, just so you can disperse any of your water through, any existing oils or anything like that in the machine. Now, I have another bucket. I always have 2 spare buckets ready to go for clean water. So here's my second clean bucket. But what I do, I don't use my clean one now. Wherever I've dispersed any of the dirty water from when I was setting up the machine, I'll put that in first, and then I have my second bucket ready to go straight after that, and that should be enough to do what I need to do. Always make sure you clean it out so it's clear water. Like, I can pretty much drink out of the machine after I've cleaned it, and that's what you want. That is what is key. So first off, okay, put your bucket to the side here because you've got to make some room for your bucket of water. Put this here like that. Make sure your pressures are all down. Your pressure's all the way down. Make sure your prime valve is down as well. So that way you're pretty much ready to go like that. What you want to do now, you want to get out your suction tube. You want to give it a bit of a shake around, get any little bit of excess that's in there, or the paint helps. Then we just put it straight into the bucket of water. First off, what I always like to do, just give it a bit of a stroke. Get all this completely off here. See how you've got it around the bottom here as well. Just give it a good shake around. What I even do, I set it all the way down and I'll just sort of just hit it so I'm getting any of the water pushing back into the mesh guard, your rock stopper. And that way, yeah, it helps stop it from drying out or blocking up any bit more. So yeah, now we've got that sitting in there. We've got our main suction tube in the water. We've got our prime in the water. So what I always do now is, this is a process, hold this over your prime hose, and then you've got it in prime down here as well. Just turn it up just a notch. Should only take a couple of seconds. As soon as it starts to run out water, there you go. You can see how it starts to thin down just that tad. After a couple of times you use your machine, you'll be able to start reading the noise of it. It comes into play a lot. You know, I can usually tell from the machines I have when it's sucking water, when it's sucking paint. It usually pins a bit more or pumps a bit more when the paint usually starts coming through, because it's a thicker product, so it has to work a little bit harder to pump it. So anyway, we've got all the paint that we need through. You can see it's just a bit of water now. Now put that into your first drum of water. Sit it there, leave it for 15 seconds or so. All you're doing now is pretty much getting the paint out into your prime valve. But you don't want to do it too much, because there's no point completely cleaning out this part of the system until you clean out all the paint through your machine and out of your lead, out of your gun, should I say. So what I'll always like to do now as well, always got your pressures down, remember, turn to the side, take out, drop it in a bucket of water, okay? That way we can do that a bit later on, because you do have to suck out blow out the paint in your machine, you have to blow out the paint through your hose. So what we'll do, same thing again, prime down, pressure down, turn it to your spray, hold down, because like I said, now you're going shooting paint into a fresh drum of paint. So if you've got your pressure up, it's going to go everywhere.
And just explain that with 15 meters of hose right now, it's all paint we can recover and not waste. Yeah, all right. So with what we've got now, we've got 0.8, it's usually between 0.8 to 0.7 of a litre, which comes in your 15 metre lead. So if you're running 2 leads, you pretty much got 1.6 litres that's in your line. So you always want to get all that out. You don't want to waste any paint. So what we're going to do, we're going to just hold your trigger down like this. Okay, I've got my spray turned on, and now I'll just quickly turn it up, and as you can see, just shooting it out. So you will be able to hear it. See that now? That's pretty much it. As soon as it starts to work a bit less, you know that water's coming. So what I like to always do, just put it in your paint now, finish off the process. So you see how I've got water coming out? So just hold down the trigger. You want to probably do this for about a minute or so. All I'm doing now is circulating the paint through the machine and back into the same drum. What I always like to do as well, I always like to turn down my pressure, and then I'll put it back into all the way, or just your tip guard back into your water, and I'll turn it all the way up, and I'll just sort of boots out, it self cleans, it blows anything out at high pressure out of the machine. Now it's like that.
All right, so we've gave it a bit of a blowout. We've circulated all the paint. We've taken all the paint out of the handpiece, the priming valve, your suction hose, and now we've just got dirty water in there. So what we do now, turn it all the way back down to your pressure, back to prime. It's pretty much just repeating the same process from what we've just done, but with clean water. So what we'll do now, take this out. Always, once you're done with your paint, put it away. There's nothing worse than having an open drum. You know, you come around, you accidentally kick it, and you're just going to make a mess. So once you're finished with it, make sure you just put it out of the way. It's nice and safe. You don't have to worry about it. Now I've got this, like I said, here's the second drum of clean water I filled up. Very similar. Leave your prime in. Take out your suction hose, your tube. Just make sure you get any access out of it before you go putting it in. Put it in this one, okay? And now, same process. Prime's down, turn up your pressure, and it'll start blowing out clean water. Cleaner water. You see it's starting to clean. So I don't go really any further than there because you're not going to get it much cleaner until you get your hose and everything cleaned. Okay, pressure back down as always. Now what I can do, same process. Turn it to your spray. Hold your gun, just your tip guard in the water with your trigger down and just slowly, there you can see. Slowly see it'll start getting clearer and clearer and clearer. So as you can see here, it is pretty clean now. But then, like I said, I always like to put it all the way back in the water for the last couple of times, and then I will always crank up my pressure, and that just blows out any existing paint that's in there. So always crank it up, and then I go like that, and it just gives a bit of a boot. I think it's sort of more like the self-cleaning on the Merca. It's sort of the same thing, as I think anyway. And as you can see now, I can pretty much just start spraying that out, and it's clean. So right, so pretty much after we're running clean water, what we want to do, we want to blow out our tip. We always want to make sure that you blow out your tip when you're finished. You know, you can sit in a bucket of water, but still, if you do forget about it, it will go hard, and yeah, it's just going to, you know, cause you dramas down the track by not having it when you need it, of course. So once again, pressure down. And when you're going as well, I'll just quickly go back to where I was, which is here. Be careful as well, because sometimes if you've got your pressure cranked up and you go flicking it down to prime, you're potentially going to damage the needle and the spring in your prime valve. So that's the difference when you're always switching between spray and prime, or vice versa. Make sure your pressure is turned down. Pressure always down. So as well, sometimes even if your pressures build up, it's still in your machine. So when you go down from spray to prime, sometimes you might have to, well, just hold your hose, because sometimes it can push a lot of pressure out through here, and it will pop out your prime hose as well. As you can see, watch. See how, just do it nice and slowly, and that way it will release nice and slowly also. So here we are, pressure's all the way down. Now we're just going to blow out our tip. It's pretty much the last thing you do. As I said, you don't want to be blowing through dirty water through your tip. You're just wasting the longevity of your tips. So now we've got the tip in, back to spray, crank it up. You can see here. So now, nice fan. So you always want to go this way, flip it over, make sure you go this way. That way you're blowing it all out completely. And there we have it. All right, now the next process is, if it's gonna be, you know, if I'm gonna use it the next day, I'm not gonna use my pump armor. But if it's gonna be a couple of days or it's gonna go in storage, what I'll do now, I'll just pour some pump armor in. This is getting used first thing in the morning, so I'm not gonna really worry about it. Pour in your pump armor, repeat the same process through your prime valve, your hose, and then, yeah, you can turn it off, dismantle it all, pack it away, and you know it's cleaned, you know it's got the right products in it to be stored, and you're ready to rock for next time. That's pretty much from out of the box to setting up to how we like to load, spray, to packing it up and washing it up and packing it up, yo. So thank you all for tuning in. As always, it absolutely means the world to the PBJ/Go crew. Yeah, we truly appreciate everyone always watching in, showing all the love, the positive vibes, and that's what it's all about, pumping that paint and pushing that positive 100%. So much love, and yeah, look out and look after one another.